Hi, my name is John Petty, and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Growing Up in Flip Flops. This episode I've entitled Scared Straight. There used to be a program, I don't know run by whom, in which they would take troubled youth, young kids, either male or female, that had gotten into some type of legal trouble and would take them under supervision into prison systems, and inmates there would, in attempt, scare them straight, yell at them, give them a flavor of what prison life was like in hopes of getting these kids to turn around their bad behavior and stay out of trouble in the future. Some of these encounters were videotaped and shown on television and generally ended up with kids crying and just, oh, I'll never do that again. Well, anyway, my episode of being scared straight did not involve me being in trouble, but rather a simple visit during my summers when my mother sent me to live with one of the relatives. In this case, I was in Middle Tennessee, small town Middle Tennessee, and staying with my Aunt Carolyn, and during the day, spending the time with my Uncle John, her brother, who also happened to be mayor of the small town. Well, during the lunchtime, we would go to a local luncheonette along with my Uncle John and see that. And sometimes we would go over to the city hall where he would have some business and I'd sit in his office and see different things. Well, on this particular day, he asked me, "Do you want to see the city jail?" Well, I'm an 9-year-old boy. Yeah, boy, that sounds neat. Yeah, Uncle John, I'd love to see that. Well, he finished up some papers and said, "Okay, let's go." Well, the jail was in the basement of City Hall. This particular day was outside, the temperature was probably mid to upper 90s. We went over to this door, and the door down to the steps down into the jail was locked, and he had the police chief come and unlock the door, and I'm standing there, and he introduced me to the police chief. And, "Oh, so you want to see the jail?" "Sure. Yes, sir, I sure do." Open that door, and then there's stairs going down to you could see a steel door at the bottom of the stairs. And so the police chief and my uncle walk down the stairs with me, police chief leading the way, and get down there. Boy, this big steel door. The police chief puts the key in and unlocks the door and swings the door open. What I'm about to describe to you happened in a millisecond, not the amount of time that it takes me to describe it to you. The door swung open. It was a dark room. All I could see was a single unshaded light bulb hanging from the ceiling. I could see on the floor, a bare concrete floor. It was glistening wet. There was probably some sort of drain in the center of it. That's what visually I saw. But the thing that hit me was, again, this was in the basement of this building. It's 95 plus outside. Doors are open. And all of a sudden, this giant whoosh of cold air just comes rushing into my face. Without being too graphic, that whoosh of air was cold air was accompanied by the intense sense of urine and feces. Really intense. It hit me, bam, literally like a wet towel in the face. I instantly was just, oh my, ugh, whatever. I didn't even respond. I don't think I said anything. I turned and sprinted up those stairs, probably taking two at a time, I never said anything. I didn't hear any comment from the police chief or my uncle, but I was up those stairs, out the door that had come down to the jail, and was straight out the door that came into City Hall, ran across the street to a small square that was there in the town opposite City Hall, and then bent over, literally just threw up everything bad, bent over, throwing up in the square. I don't know how long I was there, but eventually my Uncle John, I know he came up and was patting me on the back and offering me his handkerchief to wipe my face. He was asking me if I was okay and, everything, are you going to be okay? And after I caught my breath and was able to swallow again and had wiped my face, I remember looking up at my Uncle John. I was still bent over. I hadn't even straightened up. And my comment to Uncle John was, Uncle John, I don't want to ever do anything that makes me end up in jail. And he looked at me, patted me on my back or patted me on my head, and he said, young man, I think that's a pretty good decision. Well, that was my version of being scared straight. I saw the inside of a jail. I didn't have to talk to any of the prisoners, but I certainly realized I did not want to be anywhere near a jail. And I have successfully accomplished that goal. Thank you again. I appreciate you listening. Bye.